Hi everyone, my name is Fatima Gonzalez, and I am really excited to introduce myself as the new host of the podcast, And So the Story Goes. This semester, we will be featuring our second season with new episodes coming out every other week. With that being said, let's get into our first episode.
Hello all, I am Ava Gervin, the Event and Student Engagement Coordinator for the Center for Education Abroad. You may have remembered me from one of our past episodes last season where I was interviewed by Amna. Today, I'm here to host the episode introducing Fatima. She will recount her experience navigating studying in Barcelona as a first-gen student and lessons she gained while there. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, my name is Fatima, and I'm currently a senior at the University of Rochester, and I'm majoring in business analytics. Some things I'm involved in on campus are a Center of Education Abroad Ambassador, which I just started, and Alpha Kappa Psi, which is a professional co-ed business fraternity. Like you mentioned, I did IES Barcelona abroad my junior spring, and I really loved the experience, and I gained so much from it. Another thing about myself is that I am first gen, so I think being first gen and studying abroad, it definitely makes for a very unique experience. So I really want to go into that and just give any advice that I can give for any prospective students who are looking to go abroad as well.
Mm-hmm. So what made you choose Barcelona over other destinations?
Yeah, so I'm a native Spanish speaker, which I thought would be very helpful for me going abroad because I was a little bit nervous going into it. Mm-hmm. And even though they do speak Catalan there, I learned that a lot of people also speak Spanish and English there, which was really helpful. And I also really like Spain in general and everything that comes with it. For example, like the food, I really like tapas. I also really like their music, so I just thought that it would be a really good fit for me. When going through the Center of Education Abroad website, I was just looking through a bunch of different business programs, as that is my major, and I was looking for things to get approved for my classes. And IES Barcelona just really stood out to me, and I thought that it was a really good fit for me.
Yeah. So how often do you use your Spanish-speaking skills when you were there?
Yeah, so honestly, every day.
Yeah.
I think whenever I would go into like a supermarket or like a store, anything, if you start speaking Spanish, they'll speak Spanish back to you. Mm-hmm. I know some of my friends that don't really speak Spanish as well or as much. They would start speaking in English, and then whoever they were talking to in public would also reciprocate that. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely very easy there, I will say.
Yeah. Do you think that you connected with the culture a little bit more because of that?
I honestly definitely, I had a class with locals, and I think because I spoke Spanish, they kind of came up to me a little bit more, and the class was in English, but I noticed that then whenever we would break into groups, everyone would break into Spanish because that's just what everyone is more comfortable with.
Yeah.
As the university is a Spanish school. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely connected a lot more. But I wouldn't want to discourage someone who doesn't speak Spanish to go to Spain because I do think there's so many opportunities. You just really have to put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So what was your living situation like? Were you in a host family, in an apartment by yourself? What was it like there?
Yeah, so I did my housing through IES. Mm-hmm. So I think IES Barcelona, the options that they have are host family, a student apartment, and an in-city apartment. Okay. And I specifically chose a student apartment because I thought that it would be a little bit easier to make friends with people who are in the building. A lot of people, they might not be in IES, but they're also undergrad, grad students, so I really like that. Also, the housing there is really nice, and I've heard similar things from other people abroad. I know everything changes program to program, but I had my own room and my own bathroom, and we had a communal kitchen and living space, but it was so modern and pretty where I really loved it, and honestly, great.
Yeah, I bet. That sounds awesome. So did you make any friends that were not University of Rochester there?
Yeah, so I made a few, but I would say that it was a little bit hard to maintain those relationships because they were from Spain. This one girl that I met in my class, she is studying abroad, they have this thing called Erasmus. So they're from like a different European country, and they go to a different country to study there for like, whether it be a semester or a year, whatever they choose. So we were friends like in class, but I wouldn't really say we like, you know, connected to outside.
Yeah.
I mean, we still like follow each other on social media, and like she'll send me little comments and I'll send her comments too. But it's just hard to like, you know, maintain a connection with someone who's gonna be there longer term than you are.
Yeah. Was she there for a full year then?
I think she was there for a year, and this was like her second semester.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So you mentioned a little bit about food, that you love Spanish food, and when you were there, what was the best thing that you ate?
Okay. Well, when I was there, I really tried to go to as many tapas restaurants as I wanted to, because it's just, I really don't think you can get a similar experience here. And even though there are like Spanish restaurants in New York, I just think it's a different experience. So I would say this one restaurant, I'm blanking on the name, but if anyone wants to message me on any good restaurants, I could definitely recommend you some. But just like authentic Spanish food is like the best. Like, I'm really, really obsessed with sushi, but I tried not to eat that there because like I knew that I was gonna come back home. Like, I have so many opportunities to eat that type of food, you know, while I'm home. Let me just take a moment and like appreciate everything that there is there.
Oh yeah, like eating local is probably
so
the best thing to do. You don't want to be going out to all these commercialized areas when
Definitely
you're going
not.
and experiencing something something so
like
different.
Don't go to McDonald's in like Spain. Like, don't do that. Like there's really affordable food there, so you can definitely find a lot of good options that aren't like chains.
Yeah.
Because they have, like, McDonald's there. They have Five Guys.
Okay.
They have all the types of foods like that. But when you're there, I think you should just try something you won't be able to get anywhere else.
Yeah. Did you cook yourself?
I cooked most of the week.
Okay.
So Monday through Friday, I didn't eat out too much because on the weekends I was doing little trips to other countries. And obviously there I don't have the opportunity to cook. So honestly, to save money, I was just cooking like rice, chicken, stuff like that, like easy things.
Yeah.
Meal planning or meal prepping. So, yeah.
Yeah. So we've obviously have mentioned it a few times now, but you are a first-gen student. So because of that, did being a first-gen student abroad shape how you planned and experienced what you did?
So it definitely contributed to the planning aspect. I think I 100% knew that I wanted to study abroad. It was just sort of planning it and telling like my parents and like explaining it to them. So what I did first was I told my mom about the idea of studying abroad because she's a little bit more chill. So I told her that I wanted to. I really like Spain, was deciding between Madrid, Barcelona, didn't really know. And she told me to go for it. And so I spoke with my advisor after that. I did my course approval forms, and I wanted to have a kind of more concrete plan when I came to my dad because he really, really cares about me. And he, I think, was just a little bit hesitant because it's something that's so foreign to him. Like, studying abroad is not really something that he has a lot of experience dealing with. I think he's heard of some of his friends, daughters and sons, going abroad, but I think it was just a little bit scary for him. So I think giving him, like, my plan, my layout, like, this is where I would be living. It's in a nice area. This program, like, caters to a lot of American universities. I would be surrounded by a lot of people. My friend from my school would be also going. Like, it kind of gave him a sense of reassurance, which I think he really liked. And at the end of the day, he supported me in going, which I really appreciate because I think looking at it from a parent's perspective, it can be scary to send your child to a new country. Like, I know some kids might go to school from the East Coast to the West Coast, and that can be daunting, but I think it's, you go into completely new territory when you go into a new country with different laws, with different government. But I think definitely being understanding with your parents that this is a new experience for them as well is really, really important.
Sounds like you're really close with your family.
I am.
Yeah. How was it when you were over there, like, keeping in touch with them?
Yeah, so I honestly, here at the U of R, I get homesick. Like, I was really homesick kind of freshman year, and I think it kind of improved as I became a sophomore, junior, but I definitely do still feel it, even as a senior. And so it was kind of a different level over there because here, like, we have October fall break, we have Thanksgiving to go back to, we have, December break, spring break, whatever. Like, you have these little pauses where you can go back and reconnect.
Yeah.
But over there, obviously, I don't really have heard of people who have gone back while abroad. Like, everyone really does stay in wherever they are for the 4-chunk around the countries they're visiting, whatever. But I think something that really helped was my parents planned their trip to come visit me before I had even left.
Oh, wow.
Like, my program started beginning of January, and they came to visit me mid to end of February.
Oh, okay.
So that was really helpful because it kind of grounded me, like, knowing that they were going to come visit me.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped a lot.
Yeah. So how did it feel like? What was that adjustment period when we first got there, being in a new country? Was it the first time you were out?
No, I had visited Europe before.
Okay.
But obviously, like, with my family.
Yes.
It was a completely new experience going alone. Honestly, like, if I could put one word to it, it would just be, like, immense freedom.
Oh,
which
really?
was a little bit daunting at first because I feel like I felt that when I first came to the U of R, because I'm originally from New York City, outside area, like Westchester. So it isn't too far, but I think here I don't have a car on campus. Like, I'm really, like, set in my major and my, like, goals, so I feel like I'm really, like, on campus a lot of the time. So I think going abroad, you can book whatever flight you want to go that weekend or take the public transportation anywhere. They have really good trains to get around Spain, and I'm sure that is true for a lot of other countries. So definitely, like, being to do, honestly, whatever I want to was really, really freeing, and it made me really happy.
Yeah. Did you have any challenges, per se, do you think, when you were over there? Just in general, as a first-gen student, or anything that you may have had to overcome that you could give, like, as an advice to anyone who might be still on the fence about going abroad?
I think when you say challenges, something that comes to mind is just being a little bit nervous being on my own.
Yeah.
Because, like I mentioned before, I did have a friend from the U of R that I went to the same program with, and I, like, roomed with her. But I think making a whole new network of people that you connect with is a little bit, like, new. Because like, I didn't really know too many people there. Like, my program, there was other University of Rochester students, but there's also a lot of people from all other colleges. So I think the adjusting of creating a new support system was kind of a little challenging.
Yeah.
And if I could connect that to a piece of advice to give, I would say for students who are going abroad to really put yourself out there during the first week. A lot of programs have, like, orientation things. Like, for example, IES Barcelona took us to a weekend trip to Tarragona, which is a city outside of Barcelona. But there was a lot of opportunities to connect with new people. Like, people are really looking to make new connections during this first week or two.
Yeah.
Not that you can't do it later down the line, but I would really recommend to put yourself out there and not leave with any regrets.
Yeah. So you did kind of already talk about a little bit how you created a new support system and what could help you while you were there. But what kind of support did you receive from your family and friends while you were abroad? I know you talked a little bit about staying in contact with them, but I know that can be daunting, especially when there are family back home and they really don't know what's going on with you.
Yeah, I think I would FaceTime them a lot. Like, I would show them, like, where I was. Like, I had visited Madrid with my family about, like, 6 years ago, but they hadn't really had a lot of experience with Barcelona. So I think what I did was obviously FaceTime them around, like, my living area. Like, whenever I was walking, like, on the streets, I would FaceTime them and, like, show them, like, my general areas, as well as, like, where my school is, all that type of thing. And I think that definitely made them feel more connected to me, because I think a phone call is, like, less personable. So I think that definitely, like, was helpful.
Yeah. What advice would you give any first-gen student who wants to go abroad? Or maybe even they're in the beginning stages.
Yeah.
Like, they want to do it. They are coming and trying to wrap their head around it, but they need to really take that next step.
I would just say it is very, very possible. You can do it just like any other student can. Just don't be scared to ask questions and reach out to people. I think in general, I look towards mentors a lot to help me navigate everything, whether it be for like internships, classes, whatever it may be. I really leaned on the Education Abroad office to help me. I set up meetings with faculty to sort of discuss different programs. I talked to my advisor about it. So I would definitely just say, reach out to people. Don't keep all of your worries and questions to yourself and try to deal with it all yourself, because it's definitely a lot harder, and they have more knowledge and experience than you do because this is your first time doing it. So I would just say plan as early as you can and just go for it, honestly.
Yeah. So from your time abroad, has anything in your perspective on life or on your major or what you want to do, has anything changed because of what you've experienced for that one semester that you were abroad?
Yeah, even though it's one semester and it seems so short, like 4 months, how could that change your perspective on life? It definitely did. I feel like it changed the way I value life and what I want my life to look like.
Yeah.
I think one thing that it definitely helped me with is seeing how expansive everywhere is, and like I know that I want to travel a lot more now.
Okay.
Which is something that I knew I wanted to a little bit, but when you're thinking about going to new countries, it can seem a little bit daunting, whatever. But I think, like, for example, I had gone to Morocco, and this is a country that I had never thought I would ever visit in my life. But being abroad gave me that opportunity, and it was definitely very adventurous. We visited the Sahara Desert, we rode camels, it was like super, super fun, and I think that encouraged me to take, or in the future, to take trips that are more outside of like the norm, like European countries, like to visit Asia, like stuff like that. Like I know next, when I graduate, I want to visit countries in Asia.
Really?
Yeah. So I think it definitely like expanded like my goals and like where I want my life to be is in general.
Yeah. So to close this out, I want to ask, what is your biggest takeaway from studying abroad?
Yeah, so one thing that my dad has always said to me growing up is that there's always a solution. And he would say this to me whenever I was worried or stressed about something in my life. And it wasn't something that really resonated with me before. I kind of found it annoying. I was like, okay, Dad, like, fine, I get it. But after going abroad and kind of getting out there in the world, it made me realize that this is so true, and that we need to all learn how to manage our stress and worries better. I think me personally, being at the U of R, such an academic school, whenever I had a really hard test coming up, it kind of felt like the end of the world. Like, this is so hard, like, how am I going to do this? But I think realizing that the world is so much bigger than one test, the best you can do is really just put your best foot forward, and as long as you do that, it is okay. So I think abroad in general really made me manage my workload better, manage my stress, and really like just enjoy life.
Yeah.
And not like take everything like it's the end of the world, you know?
Yeah.
So that definitely was really, really helpful. And I think this is something that you definitely have to experience to get, especially if you're like me and you kind of like can get in your head a little. But I think everyone goes through their own epiphanies and realizations abroad. So I think this is why I really, really advocate for people to look into it and just go abroad.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ava, for interviewing me, and everyone for listening. I'm really excited to take over the podcast this year, so stay tuned for the rest of the season. See you in the next episode.
We'd like to remind you that the opinions expressed by our guests on this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Center for Education Abroad or the University of Rochester. Our podcast aims to foster dialogue, critical thinking, and exploration of various topics related to education abroad. We encourage listeners to consider multiple viewpoints, engage in respectful discourse, and form their own opinions. Thank you for tuning in and being part of our community.